G'day, welcome back to the channel and welcome to this edition of MGUY EV News for Wednesday the 3rd of July 2024. Please make sure you're subscribed and please make sure you enable all notifications so you never miss another MGUY video. So some of the mainstream media, including publications like The Spectator, are starting to pick up on these issues about charging EVs in apartment blocks, which is going to be a huge problem. People have not yet realized this, but slowly they're starting to. The delusions and dangers of charging EVs in apartment buildings. A recent article in Car Expert claims almost half of Australian EV owners would go back to petrol and diesel instead of keeping their shiny new planet-saving cars. It is based on a Mobility Consumer Pulse report filled out by 30,000 car owners around the world. When it comes to the Australians, 49%, yay, were apparently falling out of love with EVs and eyeing off their old combustible flame. Considering Australia's size and relative infancy when it comes to EV infrastructure, it's not surprising that we did the poorest when it comes to enthusiasm. High on the problem list was that old thorn of range anxiety. Owners also expressed difficulty when it came to finding reliable charging on long journeys. This is hardly surprising given the booming market in copper theft, which we'll see in a minute, where thieves strip EV chargers of their wiring. Not only are Australians frustrated by public charging facilities, it's not easy to charge their beloved vehicles at home. Plenty of apartment buildings forbid EVs not only from charging but from parking underground due to insufficient fire safety standards and the very real fear that an EV fire could cause a serious incident. My former apartment complex was located right in the middle of a teal electorate. It strictly prohibited EVs from parking, let alone charging in the underground car park. Their message read, "Notice to all residents, no charging of EV cars in the basement. Please be advised that charging EV cars in the basement is currently not allowed due that the building has not been subject of a feasibility study for EVs and there is no provision in the bylaw for EV charging and no additional fire safety measures implemented." And we haven't done grade 3 English grammar either. The power points in the basement are intended only for the cleaning and maintenance of the common property, thus all residents of the building must adhere to the building bylaws for EV charging as per stipulated below. Go and read the whole article. It's linked in the description, as are all these articles. The Spectator is one of the few publications that calls out this BS without any fear, which is rare in this day and age. And from across the Dutch and New Zealand, the EV sales and the car sales are just tanking. June new vehicle sales, the worst in a decade. Possible relief on the way from Transport Minister Simeon Brown. June new vehicle registration slumped to the worst in a decade, the Motor Industry Association says. It was the 6th straight month of decline, with the MIA already warning in May that some dealers could go to the wall in a distressing market. At 9,423 new vehicle registrations, June 2024 was 60% lower than June 2023 at 23,560. Wow. Well, New Zealand's been a woke lefty hellhole for many years, while Saint Jacinta was in charge, but fortunately she's been kicked out and now they've got somebody vaguely sensible in charge, so maybe they can reverse all these disastrous policies which are killing the automotive industry in New Zealand. Let's hope it's not too late. Oh, guess what? Mercedes is investing in combustion engines. Wow! We are investing more money in combustion engines again. Mercedes-Benz CEO Ola Källenius is ramping up investments in combustion cars. This has consequences for the S-Class. The revised version of the current car will come in mid-2026. This is a translation, by the way, in case the English is a bit weird. Actually, electric cars and hybrids should account for half of Mercedes sales as early as 2025, but the overall sluggish sales of electric cars have recently made Mercedes boss Kellenius rethink. Instead of an electric-only strategy, he changed course. What a surprise! The transformation could take longer than expected, they said. How long? That remained open at first, because it's never going to happen. And auto manufacturers are finally working this out. Governments in their ivory towers just say, oh, we're going to say that everyone wants to drive an EV. Well, they don't. And the automotive manufacturers are finally realizing that they shouldn't listen to what these idiotic governments tell them to do. Just do what the people want. Do what the market wants. Make products that people want to buy. Next question. But hang on a minute, I bought an EV. Shouldn't I get special treatment? No, you don't. Actually, because they're losing the taxation that they would get in fuel revenue. So now they're going to have to tax people in other ways. Congestion charge, mileage charge. If you think your EV was a way to avoid all these charges, well, think again. Sadiq Khan to impose congestion charge on electric vehicles. Scrapping of green exemption criticised by conservatives. What? Well, they're not conservatives anyway. And motoring groups for using all vehicles as cash cow. Well, that's true. Sadiq Khan is extending London's congestion charge to all zero-emission vehicles from the end of next year. The move, which will extend the £15 a day tax on motoring to battery-powered electric vehicles from Christmas Day. What a great Christmas present. 2025 was widely condemned on Tuesday. Mark Harper, the Transport Secretary, said, taxing cars, even if they're zero emission, shows Labour's plan to use motorists as a cash cow. If they get into government, there will be worse to come, with pay-by-mile taxes and fuel duty hikes to help close their £2,000 tax black hole. Labour will get in this week, and it will be a disaster for the UK. And here's another article dealing with the ridiculous ways in which people try and charge their EVs. We've talked about this before, draping cables across the pavement. Well, people aren't quite happy with that, unsurprisingly. Some Australians without a driveway can't charge their EVs at home anymore. Well, absolutely they can't. We have previously said that owning an all-electric vehicle makes the most sense for consumers who can charge at home, at work or somewhere else for free. Well, it's not for free, is it? Somebody has to pay for it. Yeah, it might be free to you, but somebody else pays for the electricity somewhere. Positive local environment impact aside, a car remains a means of personal transport that costs money. Battery-powered vehicles are already pricier than some conventional rides that, thank God, still survive this weird market we're in. But if you also have to pay for expensive kilowatt hours at DC fast chargers, you're not getting anywhere. Especially since some locations have started charging customers parking fees on top of the electricity cost. Everyone wants to make a buck off EV owners, and some entities are, sadly, taking it to a whole other level. For some Australians, it's even worse now. Many EV buyers who live in apartments want to take full advantage of the potential of their zero tailpipe emission rides. So, to avoid paying a lot for electricity at DC fast chargers, they use an extension cord to plug in their cars overnight. Safe as houses. That's smart for two reasons. One, they can wake up to an almost full battery in the morning. Two, slow charging protects the battery cells from accelerating degradation. This prolongs the battery life and helps maintain the EV's resale value. However, pedestrians don't like that EV owners are putting cables on the sidewalk, even though many are using walkway covers or outdoor protectors to allow wheelchair users, parents with strollers or kids with bikes to safely cross over the cables and to stop people or animals from damaging them. After all, a live cable can electrocute someone if it doesn't have a smart cutout option. In Sydney, authorities have already notified EV owners who charge their EVs via an extension cord that they need to stop. If they continue to send cables through their windows and place them on public land, then they will be fined $330 Australian dollars, 220 US dollars, according to Yahoo Australia. This is the chaos that is the EV transition. On the one hand, they want us to buy EVs. But on the other hand, they're saying, no, you can't charge them. You have to go and spend a fortune at a DC fast charger in a public space and wait there for 2 hours while it charges. So this one's all a bit embarrassing because it's a celebrity who obviously thought he was doing the right thing by buying an EV. And he finds out it's not as great as it's made out to be. Kevin Dillon. Tesla suddenly stops mid-car wash. Rear-ender fender bender. Kevin Dillon's Tesla apparently took an unplanned pit stop mid-car wash, and cops say it caused a rear-end ripple effect for some unlucky cars in line behind him. The incident went down last Monday at an LA area drive-through car wash, where cars are typically left in neutral as they go through the wash. But in Kevin's case, we're told he accidentally lifted up from his seat, which triggered the brakes, bringing his car to an unexpected halt. Our sources say this sparked a fender bender with the 3 cars behind him. Thankfully, we're told the damage was minimal. However, we're told that at least one person complained of discomfort, so law enforcement was called to take an accident report. We're told the deputy concluded the Entourage star was the cause of the accident, not the car wash equipment. Just another in the long list of reasons why you should never, ever, ever buy an EV. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one. Bye for now.